All right, my note taker is reconnecting. William, great to see you.
Same here. Mhm.
All right, two announcements. For those of you who got my little message about the 6-week journey, I will fill you in on that. It is a 6-week jump start to attracting more clients. Week 4, 5, and 6, we actually go into ads and partnerships and all of that. I created this course with the future in mind. So in the future, this will be $1,000 upgrade within the Idea Lab for people to take, but lucky you guys get to benefit from my creation process. Reason behind what I do, a portion, these videos, it forces me into recording them, number one. So they are live in my Facebook group that's free to kind of showcase all these new members, actually what I know. So that's number one. Number two, as paid members, you're going to get homework, all the bonuses. And if you want that unlocked, I already started unlocking it for the ones that messaged me back. The recordings will be there with action steps, bonuses, homework, all of that good stuff. And then for you guys here in the paid group, there's also a Q&A every Friday for the next 6 weeks at 4 o'clock. So if you can't make that, just submit your question to me in advance. If you can't make the Friday at 4 o'clock, and I'll make sure to answer you in the recording. Does that make sense? Awesome. Hi, Tina. Hi, Nikki.
Hello.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hello, everybody.
Also, Lindsay's workshop is coming up, the vision board workshop. That's going out again this week to all the subscribers. And if you have anybody that you want to kind of give an intro to the value that the Idea Lab has, it's the perfect thing to invite people to, because we already know, because it's Lindsay, it's super valuable. So amazing. Also, the only other thing I have to tell you is that the affiliate program is ready if you would like to partner with me to grow the community. I would ask that there's certain requirements for the people that you invite to join. Make sure they're like you. If they give you a bad vibe, or they're weird, or they don't believe in referrals or introductions, no thank you. But like basically everybody you've met here, except the one person I kicked out, is the kind of people that we like. So if you want to partner with me on that, the commission is 40%. So that means every time somebody pays 97, you get 40% of that. I would make it 50, but that's not an option. And the idea that we're partnering together, I want you to benefit from it as well. So that means whoever you invite and they join, you get that commission as long as they stay a member. So truly feels like we're growing something together. So if you need details on that, there's not really many details except a new video that I am recording for the homepage. You know, when somebody clicks on the school platform, I'm recording a new video for there that will reflect the fact that somebody else may have invited you and hi, I'm Suzanne type of thing, you know? So all kinds of exciting stuff happening and wanted to update you. And today's session is all about newsletters. We're going to dive into newsletters, emails as well. So email newsletters, but also I want to talk to you a little bit about how do I get more people on my email list, newsletter, and also how do I monetize my newsletter. Now, monetizing a newsletter can be really, really rewarding over the long haul. Long haul. Like, don't expect to monetize a newsletter for $10 or $20 a month and have it make you a fortune right away. It's all about consistency. So I had a $10 a month newsletter for over 9 years. 9 years. It was health coaching, positive mindset, all of those things. And it was really rewarding financially to always keep working on that. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So right now, if you do have a newsletter, what kind of newsletter is it? Just unmute and let me know. What do you got?
So
Mine
I
is
have a
just
newsletter.
sharing.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Go ahead, Tina.
No, I don't have a newsletter. I mean, I have my
Okay.
email and I send out regular emails, but I don't have an actual newsletter.
Okay.
Something that I've been not wanting to do. It's more work, I'll be totally honest.
Mm.
Yeah, but I know other people do it and it's something that I've thought about.
Okay. Okay. Elsa, how about you?
Mine is more just sharing, my tools basically.
Mhm.
And I have a very small email list, and then I also do it on LinkedIn, and I'm really starting to rethink that strategy because you don't really get any idea of who opens it or who does what on LinkedIn. But so I'm curious to see what that does, so.
You can see stats about how many people saw it and what job titles they have, which is kind of interesting. So we can look at that. If you're thinking LinkedIn newsletter, and Faison can help me on this one, I always say don't start a LinkedIn newsletter until you have like 10,000 connections, or at least, at least working towards, an optimal feed of connections, because when you first start it, you get a one-time chance that LinkedIn emails every single one of your connections and says, Elsa's invited you to subscribe to this. Is that still correct, Faison?
Yes, that's correct.
So I'm beyond that since it's already there.
Okay.
So I guess I could start another one, right? But I don't know.
No,
if
you
can do
only
that.
get one on
Okay.
LinkedIn, but we can talk a little bit, if you already have one on LinkedIn, how to have it grow your actual email list and appointments. So there's some little tweaks you can do when you're writing one of those to treat it more like an email with, maybe a promotional partner at the bottom who would share it for you, a calendar link at the bottom, some sort of call to action that you normally don't see in a LinkedIn newsletter. We'll talk about how to do that today. So that might help you too, Elsa.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome. Lindsay, how about you? Do you have a newsletter?
I do. I wouldn't say I'm super consistent with it because I haven't set it up to do that. But I also opened LinkedIn one, unfortunately, when I first opened LinkedIn a few months ago. So I would love to know more about that. But yeah, my newsletter is growing because I have more people be a part of it. So now I really am looking to try to get it a little bit more consistent, where right now it's more like, oh, I have this event, or oh, you should come do this, or oh, I just set my newsletter about your event in the Idea Lab. So I was like, come do that. So it's very more like announcements and information and stuff, but not here's a specific newsletter I send out every single week or month or whatever.
Okay. Yes, that's important to keep in mind, because event sales are one thing, event reminders, something else, but at least once a month, you want to be sending out something with nothing for sale in it that is just value from you, whatever that looks like. And the interesting part that I've noticed about LinkedIn newsletters in particular, they seem to be more geared for information rather than like an email newsletter. So, see how it feels for you to write that LinkedIn newsletter to be more like information from Lindsay, and behind the scenes, like how you are living your life is the perfect thing, because when you're actually doing what you talk about, that's really, really valuable to your ideal clients. Because think about it. Would you hire a 300-pound health coach who wasn't taking care of themselves? No. Would you hire somebody for food and exercise advice who was eating McDonald's? No. So it makes sense for you to showcase how you take care of yourself. That's a value add for your future customers. And that goes for all of you. Whatever you're doing in your daily routine as an entrepreneur, Faison could talk about how he produces content so quickly. Amazing, because now he's going to do it for me, right? Nikki could talk about how she keeps her mindset straight on a moment to moment basis. Valuable. I could hire her for that. And that goes for all of you to think about how you're living your daily life that's a value add for your future customers. It's one of my core values is not to teach anything that I'm not currently doing myself. I'm horrible at Facebook ads. I do not teach it. I send you to somebody if that's what you want to do, because I don't do it myself. I boost a post every once in a while. And if we have time today, we'll talk about boosting a post on your personal page strategically and how to do that. All right, let's dive
So
in.
can I ask, sorry, a
Yeah.
quick question on that? So
Yeah.
you just said about Facebook ads that you would recommend somebody else. So what I am finding right now with my own posts or newsletters is I really want to showcase other people. So for example, because I'm trying to remove myself a little bit from the coaching side of things, I don't want to be like, well, come learn how to do this. No, I want to say, here's the tool. And here's a great person that you could speak about. Or so would it be okay in my newsletter to say be like, oh, and I want to introduce you to Nikki. Here's her information. She's an amazing mindset coach. She would love to be able to. So is that something that I can do as I kind of build it? Okay.
Yes. And that's something you can leverage down the line, because when you call Nikki or email her and say, you're my sponsor of my LinkedIn newsletter, and your LinkedIn newsletter has 5,000 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers, now you've just provided extreme value to Nikki, and that can be monetized in itself later. And there's many of the larger LinkedIn influencers who charge $1,000 to be the sponsor of their newsletter.
Oh.
So Justin Welsh is the number one, and he charges $2,000 to be the sponsor of his newsletter. Now, it goes out via email and LinkedIn, but also he's got 600,000 subscribers. So if you want your message in front of 600,000 people, you can pay to have the top portion of his newsletter be all about you with a link to whatever you're doing. So is that worth it? Maybe, depending on what you do, right? But the thing is, he's making a ton of money just for writing his newsletter. Each newsletter has 2 sponsors, so that's $4,000 per newsletter twice a month. That's almost 10 grand a month just for having a big email list. It's like a little bonus. Like, woohoo, big email list. Let me have a sponsor. But before you're that big, you use it as a relationship builder. Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's dive into some of the subscription-based platforms for you to check out. I'm not going to go into massive detail, but there's 3 that are the best known. Super hot right now is a platform called Beehive. And I'm going to copy these 3 tools from my notes and share them in the chat so you have the correct spelling and all the good stuff. So these are the 3 platforms that I'm most familiar with. I had mine on Substack. Substack has a built-in referral feature. So you can sign up and have other Substacks refer yours. So I would get a decent amount of subscribers for partnering with other creators, and we would share each other's Substack. Beehive is for large audiences, and it has very advanced referral tools. So if you had a newsletter on Beehive that you were going to monetize, and I'll use Lindsay as an example because I used to be a health coach, you could monetize actual program information on Beehive. Join my Beehive for $10 a month and get weekly meal plans, weekly exercise plan, weekly, whatever you want to do. And then other people could promote that for you. And it's got a really robust built-in affiliate program. So it's something that's a newsletter, but it's also can be an offer, so to speak, and you can price it however you would like. Patreon Ghost adds a paid layer for premium content, just like Substack. Substack has a portion that's free, sends out an email to your list, blah, 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 blah. And then you get to this certain point in the email and it says upgrade to paid. So if you want the action plan, that's how I used to do it. You want the action plan, you have to upgrade to paid. So the strategy is free, upgrade to paid with additional content. So that's a little more advanced than the LinkedIn newsletter. Does that make sense? Okay. Next, what type of content really works on newsletters? I'm going to go through a bunch of different content types for newsletters. The most important thing is what resonates for you and what do you think is going to resonate with your ideal client. For example, Tina's ideal client is working a full-time job. They don't have time to read a 7-page article. They want the TLDR version. If you don't know what TLDR is, too long, didn't read version, which always cracks me up. So I get a newsletter from someone that at the very beginning, they put a TLDR version for ADD entrepreneurs. Oh my God, this is my dream to get 3 sentences. So now I know whether I have to read the whole newsletter or not. So if your clients, your potential clients, are those busy working a full-time job, be brief, but be powerful. Now, types of content. Behind the scenes content. Number 1, people love it. Behind the scenes, already talked about that. Value-packed educational content, tips, frameworks, strategies, how-tos, blah, blah, blah. And then the other option for somebody like Bruce would be curated industry news and trends. Now, the really cool thing about that type of content, Faizan could probably do LinkedIn, curated tips and news. The really cool part about that, you don't have to write it. You don't have to write it at all. There's many different RSS feed services which pull information from the internet. And now with AI, Bruce, you could go to Perplexity and say, what are the top 10 trending articles about profit in a business making more than $5 million a year? Boom, it's going to give you articles. You make a newsletter that's sharing your 5 favorite ones. And it just becomes a massive value add for anybody reading Bruce's newsletter. Case studies and success stories. Remember, they don't have to be yours. They don't have to be yours. I sent a proposal a couple months ago to a doctor, and I used 2 famous doctors from the online space, Dr. Mark Hyman and Dr. Daniel Amen. They both have unique ways of franchising their knowledge. I didn't do it for them. I was showing my doctor client what's possible. And I said, this doctor did it this way, this doctor did it this way. They're not my clients, but this is how they scaled their business. And he was like, wow, I never heard of those two. So I brought a whole new level of awareness to him what's possible as a doctor. So you can do that same exact thing with case studies and stories. Personalized Q&A time. This is key. If you have a Facebook group or if you have an email list, schedule something that's an Ask Me Anything session. Schedule that in your newsletter and let people know this is happening on this day, and they could submit their questions in advance or come to this session and I'll hot seat your question, give you answers live. You use all of those questions for future content in your newsletters. Lastly, exclusive offers always go in your newsletter. What did I just give you as an announcement here today? Right? I'm doing a 6-week journey. It's free in my Facebook group, but my paid members get X, Y, and Z. So there's an incentive to at least stay being a paid member for the next 90 days because you're going to get this $1,000 thing. So incentivize people not only to stay, subscribe, share. Really, really important. So now how to monetize. Affiliates, paid subscriptions. You could promote someone's course or service in exchange for a commission. I've done that. There's also some services that you can sponsor, like in your newsletter. You could have other people's newsletters. I've done that before. And then webinars and events. So, for example, I'm speaking at this event at the end of April. That's gone on the bottom of every email this month. You can join it virtually for $97, or you can come to Searcy, Arkansas. Anybody want to go? No, you don't. You don't want to go. That's why I haven't invited any of you to Searcy, Arkansas. But that's where I'll be at the end of April. But you can use things like that in your newsletters for promotion and that kind of stuff. And any questions so far or any ideas coming to mind? Go ahead, Bruce.
I wanted to share with you that there's a fellow, he's since retired, but I followed him for, gosh, 30 or 40 years. He started in the early days of the internet and did quite well, but every single Tuesday, he had a newsletter and email newsletter. But what he started doing at the top was he would say, 1 minute and 20 seconds to read. And his writing style was, of course, you know, he started early, so he had people all over the world. His writing style was short paragraphs, 2 sentences max, and he would always bold the first sentence. So when you open it up, you could see this is 2 minutes, this is 3 minutes, it's 1, but you could easily scan it because he had highlighted the bullet points. And the thing was, is he never missed, even when he went on vacation, he loved to write, but he never missed a Tuesday. He's still doing it, in fact, or just not on his, it's more observations than about marketing.
Love that. And I love the fact that he picked a Tuesday. It's the least frequent day to email your list. Smart.
Yeah. Knowing him, it wasn't an accident.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Go ahead, Tina.
Yeah, well, yeah, that just made me think. So what is the best day of the week to send out an email?
Great question. Monday morning emails get opened really, really well for me.
Okay.
Sunday night emails actually get opened really well because I think most people open them first thing Monday morning.
Yep. Okay.
Friday emails, horrible. Nobody will see them till Monday.
Not good. Okay, good. Good. Okay. Awesome. My question though was the Q&A option,
Mhm.
because I had thought about that. Would you do that alive in your group, or would you do that as a Zoom that people can come in?
How many people are in your group right now?
Not a lot of people. I have like 23. So
Okay.
I'm thinking, because it's growing. I just started the free Facebook group about a
Okay.
month ago.
I would think about posting it as an event in the group, emailing your list that you're going to have it, and also posting it as an event on LinkedIn and inviting strategically, some ideal clients for you.
So post it as an event in the Facebook group.
Make sure it's public so you can
Yes.
invite your
Yes.
people who are outside of the group as well.
Right. And then send it to my email list and do a
Mhm.
LinkedIn event.
Yes. And as far as the LinkedIn event, the way to be successful with that in the beginning is private invitations. Hey, Sally, I created this event for women in corporate thinking of starting their own gig.
Yeah.
It's very conversational and interactive. Bring your questions. Would love to meet you in person. Let
Okay.
me know if you'd like to attend. I would love your voice in the room.
Good. And then I will do it in the Facebook group.
You can, but I would have people in Zoom to interact with
Zoom.
you.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
Zoom. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I do. And one, you can
too.
record it, share
Yes.
it to your group later,
Yep.
showing them, hey, look what you missed. You could have been with me live.
Okay.
And when you're in Zoom with people, if you get 10 or 15 people, you could have them interacting with each other.
True.
And that's where the real value comes in. And
Okay.
please make sure if any of you are going to do this Q&A, please pad the event, PAD, with 2 people you know will show up and ask great questions that will
Okay.
make your genius shine. Okay, that could be a friend, that could be a client. Denise and I used to do that for each other.
Oh, good.
She would come to my events and ask questions that she knew would make me look like a genius,
I got you.
right?
Makes total sense.
Really smart to do that.
Would you do this on a regular basis, like weekly? Because I've seen like you have business hours. Is that something you would do monthly?
That's up to you as your group goes. I would start off once a month. Don't
Yeah.
overcommit to weekly. Start off once a month so you
Okay.
have more lead time to personally invite people.
Yes, I agree.
The nature of events right now is it has to be a personal invitation or you won't get many people. Coaches in Conversation, I had 200 people register last month. I got 28 to attend. That's ridiculous. And it's because I spent no time personally inviting people.
So you just helped me because I was me and 2 other women were hosting an in-person event on April 5th, and we're thinking of canceling it because we only got 2 people.
Mhm.
And we've been sending out personal invites, but you just validated that the personal invitation outweighs. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My last event with Jonathan, 2,200 people registered. 348 showed up live.
Oh, it's a numbers. It's a numbers.
It is. It
It
is.
is a numbers. Yeah.
It is. And
Yeah.
the other thing with personal invitations, it can't be an event to pitch your services. It can't be an event where you're teaching or expecting them to buy something. It can't. It has to be interactive.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has to be value-driven, conversational. And
Yeah.
then when you say to someone, hey, Sally, I created this event. I'd love your voice in the room. It's real and it's authentic. That
Right. Right. Yeah, ours wasn't going to be selling. We were actually teaching. It was a workshop. We were teaching. Okay, so
Yeah, that's a little different than interactive Q&A
yeah,
or interactive knowledge share.
right.
You're just the guide. You're the leader and you're the person to answer their questions.
Right.
but they should feel like they're coming for a conversation, not a sales pitch.
Right.
That's how you'll get more people.
Right. So the Q&A definitely should be really bring your questions. We
Yeah.
help them it's not a sales pitch.
Right.
Okay.
And there might be genius in the room
Yeah.
that can answer questions too,
Right.
and
Okay.
be okay with that.
Okay.
I love when people in my groups add to what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, let's go to you, Elsa.
So I think I've mentioned this before, but one of the newsletters that I love is James Clear's.
Mm.
He does, I think what he does extremely well is that he has the specific formula for every single newsletter. He hasn't been consistent lately, so that's sort of funny. Or maybe he just dropped me. But so he has the 1, 2, 3, right? So 1 is always about this, 2 is always about this, and 3 I think is typically resources, and 2 is like a quote of the day, and then something like that. And I think that does 2 things. First of all, it creates that predictability and saying, well, I don't have to read the whole thing. I just need this part of the newsletter. And second of all, it also gives the writer, the creator of that newsletter, a very structured way of approaching it. So during the week, if you see something, you can tag and say, oh, I want this in one of my newsletters. I want this, and start sorting it into themes.
Yeah, I like that. I keep a lot of things in Evernote in different notebooks for that very reason. ChatGPT could help you with a good format that would be, workable for your ideal client. But if you like his format or one of his formats, you can use that same format for a newsletter.
I tend to be the one that experience something and then I create a connection and write from that story. That's typically my style, but I like the predictability of his. That's really the only point.
Well, look at how many people in this room liked it too. So that's a good sign that if somebody has 600,000 subscribers, and I think James Clear's got over 1 million subscribers, he's doing something right. Let's look at what he's doing and say, oh, okay, he gets subscribers from LinkedIn, he gets subscribers from his books. How is it set up on his website to get more subscribers? What is he talking about to get more subscribers? Analyze that, and then the way it's formatted obviously is appealing to people. So, plus his content's great too. So,
They're saying he's also been doing newsletters for like 15 years. I remember getting him way back when nobody knew, and it was like, that's just how long it's taken.
Yeah. Well, if you're not willing to commit to consistency, don't look for instant gratification with this kind of stuff. And if you are looking like, hey, I want to profit from my newsletter in the next 3 months, be prepared to invest in Facebook ads. Like, really invest. And I don't recommend that anyway. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, to Lindsay's point, this was just something that came to mind. Somebody, I think a year or two ago, had a very successful blog, but he was saying, let me show you what my growth has been over the past 7 years. It was like this. So to your point, I wanted to ask you, it's not newsletter per se, but there's a fellow who every week, excuse me, every week he sends out an email with a quote. And he says, I do this just so that I'm staying top of mind with people. But I don't know. I mean, it keeps him on top of mind, but it's just a quote with a comment or two of his. And I don't know. I'm just kind of curious. To me, it's semi-effective. I'm just curious as to, like I say, it's not a newsletter, but it's just some way for people to get something short from him. What do you think about that? Doesn't seem to add a lot of value to me.
Quote.
Okay.
I will often put a Stoic philosophy quote within an email. I don't classify that as a newsletter or staying top of mind. It's just something I like. If you were going to do a newsletter based on a quote, I would make them quotes that would be appealing to your ideal client, make them have to do with profit, loss, all the, things that you do, which wouldn't really be hard with AI's help, and then expand on the meaning of the quote. So say it was a quote from Gino Wickman, the guy who wrote Traction and EOS system. Say it was a quote from him, you could explain why that quote is important as a founder of a company. That would be good content using a quote.
And you could do your newsletter in a video format also, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And if you do a video newsletter and, I would say make it under 15 minutes, ideally under 10, you could then use that in other ways as well. You could break it up, use it for shorter content, or just share that directly on social media. Hey, want more of this in your inbox? And put the subscribe button in the comments. William, let's go to you.
Right. So yeah, so I created a newsletter on LinkedIn, and I was always talking about stories, real life stories about people, about myself, and how it goes about struggles and then coming out of it, just about emotional resilience. And it was really doing well. The first day I set it up and I posted my first time, I had 500 subscribers
Nice.
that day. And so it was ongoing, and I was posting twice every week. Twice every week. But later I realized it was too hectic.
Yeah.
So it was reducing, and then it is not really active right now.
Okay.
But yes, but my question is, how easy it is to get people who have subscribed to that newsletter on LinkedIn? How can I collect their emails very easy so I could build that list to email them in the future?
Great question. Reactivate that newsletter. Publish a couple new editions. Don't do it twice a week, do it twice a month. Change that frequency to twice a month so you don't feel the pressure of that. And the first one that goes out to reactivate, put something in the newsletter that links to your email list for them to subscribe. And give them a reason to do that. So thank you for being, on my LinkedIn newsletter. Do you want more of this content, or do you want my video content newsletter, or do you want to find out about the events that I'm speaking at? Subscribe over here and have them go from LinkedIn to wherever you want them to subscribe. But make it
Okay.
valuable for them to do that. They're going to
Sure.
get something when they do that.
Sure. Thank you.
Great question.
I have
All right.
a quick question on that one. That reminds me, because Faison always tells us, and everybody else, that don't have a link in our posts, in the post body, but do it in the comments.
Yes.
So when you do links, outside links in the newsletter, that doesn't hurt. Is that understood
I have
correctly?
not noticed any difference, and I'll share my screen and show you how I do it. And I've tried a couple different ways between putting a button at the bottom of the newsletter. You can actually add a button that says schedule a call with Suzanne, or subscribe to this, or I've done subscribe to my YouTube. Get the training over on YouTube, subscribe here, and it links right to my YouTube. I make sure when that post goes, I also share whatever links were in the newsletter. I share those links in the comments as well. So you have to go back and forth a little bit. The other thing I do very often is make sure I tag someone else in the newsletter. talk about someone else, and whether it's somebody I've met or somebody that taught me that thing, the newsletter that I tagged 4 people in last year, tagged 4 Simon Sinek, Gary Sanchez, who designed the YOS assessment, I think James Clear, and one other person. I mentioned every single one of them in that newsletter, and it blew up, and only 2 of them saw it. It doesn't matter. You're kind of tagging their reach almost. So that's super strategic and very detailed. If you want to talk more about who would be good for you to pick, I'm happy to do that. You know, like since Faison talks about LinkedIn, who are the top 3 LinkedIn people? I love this guy by the name of Colin Gallagher. He's not as big as Justin Welsh, but his content is so good. And he's got a free school group where he teaches AI and LinkedIn. So Faison could easily, if he's learning from him, commenting on his stuff, join his free community because their offers are different. He'd honestly be a great referral partner, but a great person for you, Faison, to look at the way he gives content and then invites you to his school group. And then in school group, he gives you something for free. He writes 5 posts for you for free, just as a reward, as a bonus for joining his school community. I'm sure he has it automated. I'm sure he's using AI to do that, but it's so valuable that people talk about it. People are like, huh, you got to go join Colin's group. You'll get 5 incredible posts for LinkedIn. Go ahead.
This is awesome. Then can you drop his link in the chat?
Oh, yeah, sure. I just shared your steps, your action steps. Make sure you save the chat. That stuff will all be in the members area as well for your recording. Let me grab Colin. And actually, I'll show you my, I'll kind of analyze. Here he is. So he calls himself the AI marketing guy, helping marketers add 30,000 to 50,000 MRR. So monthly recurring revenue. Why do you think I follow him? Why do you think? AI, marketing. I have monthly recurring revenue. I want to know that. Okay, cool. So then he's got an incredible Irish accent. Done. Anybody with an English or Irish accent, I don't know if you've noticed, I have those people on my podcast all the time. Why? Charming, love it. I don't know. There's an attraction there. So I'm going to pay attention more when he talks because I like his accent. He's got 40,000 followers. We have almost 100 mutual connections. So I leveraged Darren Gibb, who's a LinkedIn guy. He was on my podcast. We've known each other for years. I leveraged Darren to get connected to Colin. Then sign 1 to 5 clients every month through LinkedIn. This is the only link he has in his profile. So let's click on it. And basically, this is what he does. You can get a free consultation. I didn't do that. Free consultation. This is all the things he does. It seems very, very valuable to me, right? Awesome. So I see what he's doing on LinkedIn, but what's really interesting, when you look at his contact info, there's a Kartra link. Well, let's check it out. Oh, this is a free 7-day AI content course. I subscribe to this. When I subscribed to this, I got invited. This is school platform. when you subscribe, so that goes back to, remember when I talked about feed content, subscriber content, and then member content. So he's just showing you how to take somebody from free. You're looking at my LinkedIn. Now I'm going to bring you closer and get you as a subscriber. And once you're a subscriber, I'm going to invite you. Let me find his. Is it this one? No. I think I might have left his. I'm not in it anymore. All right, I'll find it for you. Just so you can see how he does it. No, not that. Hold on. Let me copy how to spell his name properly. All right, well, this isn't a great example because we're not finding it very easy. AI LinkedIn. Okay, I'll grab it from my my email list and show it to you. But it's a free community on School, and for some reason it's not on his profile anymore. It used to be right here on his profile. So he might be doing something different with it. But you get the idea, right? So anytime, and we can look at Justin Welsh might be a better example. LinkedIn operating system. This is his course. That's $150. 722,000 followers. When you click on his content, he has a website. And then here, this is his newsletter. And then here's his course. And the link to his newsletter is a separate landing page. I'll tell you what got me is I knew this person, I knew this person, I knew this person, I knew this person. And I was like, oh, okay, his influence went up to me because these other people are talking about him. So you could leverage that as well. If you know someone who could give you a good testimonial on your newsletter, that would be really great. Great marketing. Now, if you're just going to do a LinkedIn newsletter, you can do it one of two ways. You can have it in your featured section like this, where somebody clicks on it and they're going to see it's published bi-weekly, and you could subscribe to it if you wanted, right? If you were a visitor. Or you could do it like I showed you with Justin, where it links to, you know, a Substack or a Beehive or whatever. Make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
Stan, I was just going to jump in. So I just subscribed to his newsletter, and all those people you just said are his suggested people to to subscribe to. And so that's really cool. That's the first time I've ever seen it, where it's like, here are some of my friends, you should subscribe to them too. And it's like, oh, I will subscribe to them too.
Yeah,
so really cool.
I highly recommend Dan Coe.
Yes, I love him.
I read his new book last year on vacation. It's called Focus. And all of we usually travel with a group of us. It was 3 families. So the 2 other moms were like reading trashy romance novels, you know, sipping drinks. And they're like, what the hell are you reading? I'm like, oh my God, it's Dan Coe, and I'm reading about focus. And they were like, and you bring a highlighter to the pool? I'm like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. So they were very, very excited to make fun of me for reading a book about focus while having a margarita with a highlighter on vacation. But
How do you spell his last name?
Koe.
K-O-E.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about ways to grow your subscribers no matter what. Number one is make sure it's available in your social media profiles. Subscribe to my newsletter in your LinkedIn profile somewhere. That goes for Facebook too. On your personal profile on Facebook, you could have a link. Make sure you have one either to your free Facebook group or your newsletter. If you have a free Facebook group, when people join that Facebook group, ask, leave your email to get on my newsletter. When they join your group, you have the option of asking them 3 questions. I had 40 new people join my Facebook group because of this 6-week thing I'm doing. So out of that 40, 35 got on my list. And we can automate that, you know, but at first, if you're just getting 1 or 2 new people, you can add those to your email list every day. You can do that manually until it's 40 people every day, or like Jonathan, 1,000 people a day. I need to automate that. And Tina, 1,000 people a day, and Facebook turned off his ability to collect emails.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, no, sorry, you're getting too many people. We're going to turn that feature off.
Of course he will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
Yes. So, you know, do a good job, but at the same time, you know, just be consistent with whatever you decide, whether it's a newsletter, but the way to get people on your list is really talking about it all the time. Anybody who commented on my training yesterday, I am sending a DM to they're going to get a friend request. They're going to get a DM from me. Thank you so much for tuning into my training yesterday. Do you have any questions? Then what else would be smart to do? I'm having a Q&A on Friday for my paying members. Would you like to be my guest? Who would say no to that? Oh my God, you're inviting me to where your paying members are hanging out? There's no better sales feature than that. Letting your free people hang out with your paid people is a huge value add. Every week when I have my AI mastermind, I do the same thing. I talk about the training on social media. I'm doing this with my AI mastermind group. Would you like to attend? Would you like a guest pass to attend? Would you like to attend one time as my guest? Every time, at least 2 people ask to attend. Do they always come? No, but it gives me a reason to send them the recording, gives me a reason to follow up with them and get them on my list. The third way, of course, is partnerships. So, Lindsay, how many registers have you gotten for your workshop?
2.
2. All right, so we need to do a push this week for more, correct? That means 3 emails I'll send out. Post it, LinkedIn, Facebook, personal page, in the group. You do the same thing. We'll tag each other in those posts. When you tag me, I share it. When I tag you, you share it. And we highlight the fact that we're partnering for this, or I'm your sponsor, however you want to spin it. I could care less. Doesn't matter. And that highlight feature, by highlighting the fact that, oh my God, Suzanne's sending this to her list for me. another value add, because people go, oh, how did Lindsay do that? How did Suzanne get Lindsay to do that for her group? Right? It's more curiosity, more intrigue, more eyes when you tag each other that way.
Awesome. Can I ask a quick question before we
Yeah.
move on to that?
Yeah.
So you are, and actually, I don't even know, I think the 6-week, the live you did yesterday, that was in your group, right? Not on your personal page. Okay. So for someone like
Personal
me,
page, and because you can't stream from StreamYard into a group, I do it to personal page, and then while I'm live, I share it into my group.
Okay. So for someone like me, so I actually just created a group for people who have come to my workshop so that we can share stuff and do it. So, but I don't have a group like that in Facebook for anything else. So doing lives, Q&As, business hours, whatever on my personal page, and then doing what you just said, where anybody who comments, I send them a message. So all stay the same, just instead of it in a group, you're doing it on your personal page. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And let them know always, whenever you do something really valuable like that, think of it as, this is for my feed. My paying members are going to get this extra. And then when you email your email list, the recording, which that went out first thing yesterday, if you missed today's training, here's the link to the replay. New subscribers to my YouTube channel get this. Awesome, right? I want to grow my YouTube. But by sending that out right away, I also include the link to the video in the Facebook group. You can go watch it on YouTube, but oh, you're not in the group? Go watch it here and get the extra things. So another push for people to join the group.
Gotcha. So you do your live, then you send it in an email, then you have it on your YouTube, and then you're also commenting on anybody who comments, and you're sending them a direct message as well.
Yes. Yes.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Do you eventually take it off your personal page so people have to come to the group for those recordings, or you leave it on your personal page? Now, of course, Facebook will delete everything after 30 days, but I don't think they do that in our groups, right?
I'm not sure about in the groups. That's why I like to stream it live, and I also stream it to YouTube at the same time. So YouTube's my automatic storage spot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm putting my videos all on YouTube. Yeah.
How do we feel about growing your list a little bit more intentionally?
It feels good. I'm going to do the on my personal page, subscribing to my Facebook group.
Okay, great. You can put that right in the little, I'll show you where it goes.
Yeah.
Also make sure that you have an image on your personal page. Here we go. So personal page. So when you click on this image, there's a link over here, free group.
Oh.
And when you click on that, boop, it's right there.
Oh.
Paid group, link to that. Follow me on LinkedIn, because I'd rather you follow me over there, actually.
Right. Okay.
Right? So somebody clicks on this image, they're getting all of that information.
Oh, okay. I got to do that. I don't have that right now.
Then you can pin a post on your personal page.
Yeah.
So this is where I talk about my paid opportunity.
Yeah, I have that. That I did from you. Got that idea from you, and I put that on.
And then you can put your website or your free Facebook group over here as well with a link.
Yeah, I have my website there right now. But,
okay.
That's what I'm directing them.
Yeah, you could direct it to a newsletter. You could direct it to your free Facebook group. But guaranteed, if you are providing, let's look at my last post in Jonathan's gigantic group here, because this will give you an idea of what's possible in a larger group. So here's my last post yesterday. It's a prompt for defining your why. Now, what you're going to notice, I put more in the comments. So there's a prompt in this post for every week of my 6-week challenge. So when you go to the comments, here we go.
Right, you have it in there.
Prompt number
Yeah.
1, prompt number 2, focus on, these are all the prompts from my training yesterday. So do you see how easy that was to create from my content for the training yesterday? I said, please create a series of prompts for Jonathan's group that'll help people do the things I'm talking about in the training. So it did it for me. Then I wrote, talking about all of this today in a free training in my Facebook group. 6 people liked that. And this person sent me a friend request and joined my group. This one, she joined the group. This Rebecca Ann, add her as a friend. And then what I can also do, look at all these comments. Already friends with Jackie. This post made Jackie, an old client of mine, message me and say, how do you create these? I sent her a message, told her how to do it. And now there's Tina, thank you. Now look at this, Donna. I pasted all these prompts into one chat and ended up with telling chat, I think you know me well enough to not need to clarify. Can you please populate the responses? And it was awesome. Suzanne, thank you heaps. I'm going to send her a message. I'm going to add her as a friend. I'm going to like this comment. I'm going to say,
Was she only followed by 2 people?
yeah.
I guess.
Well, some people are not very visible.
Mm.
So do you always add people as a friend when they make a comment on something?
Not always. No.
No, okay.
No, not always.
Curious.
But she actually did it. She actually gave me feedback.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And I'm just going to say, check my profile for info. That's it. But I am going to try to respond to, like, thank you for sharing your experience. Like, look at all those thank yous. This is all opportunities to start conversations.
Right.
This guy here, he's already messaged me. I haven't sent him a friend request yet. But if you do something like this, be that valuable once a day in a large group, all of those people you now can have a conversation with. And guess what? I give away even more value in my newsletter. If you want to subscribe, the link's in my profile. So you're not sending links, you're not being spammy, you're saying, thank you so much. I'm so glad that was valuable to you. If you want more, and then you're leaving it up to them to join your newsletter. I could be literally busy all day just doing that if I wanted to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But if you don't have the clients that you want and you want to work with more people, that's the opportunity that's available. I'm now to the point where I just let the ones who reach out to me become clients. I don't have to go and message all those people because at least 2 or 3 of them are going to message me. That's the goal. Get to that point.
Right.
Get to that point.
That's the point. Okay.
All right. Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much,
welcome.
Suzanne.
You're welcome. Any questions before we wrap up?
I have one question for you, but it's not related to this.
Okay. I'll stop.
All right. Bye.